This is going to be the Boomerang clock. A friend of mine wants a mid-century, right around the 50s style clock. She saw one she liked, so she sent me some pictures, and so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can put one together for her. These are indexing holes, so I can flip the board over on the table to work on the other side. Cutting the pocket for the motor right here. There's not much work to do on the back side, which is where I'm at now. And this is the hole that the shaft pokes through. And other than adding the hooks that I'll add later, this is pretty much it. I don't have to do too much more on the back. I'd already glued up some boards to do this, and I didn't show that. It pisses Holohan off when I don't show everything, but I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it this time. He's just going to have to live with it because I can't go back and video that. This is part of the design that she wanted in there. The face of the clock will be hour markers, and that's all it'll have. These little pockets, I'll inlay some, probably some poplar, something light that'll contrast real well. I guess that was a style in the 50s, but I was only 2 and I couldn't tell time, so how the hell would I know? This is solid walnut, expensive, and it's a pain in the ass to work with on just about every account. It's kind of stringy and it chips easily, it soaks up finish like you wouldn't believe. Plus, the person I'm building this for has been known to retaliate when you screw something up for her. This keeps me calm. So I'm cutting out the actual outer shape here. And it's a boomerang shape. This is looking at it right side up. This is looking at the face of the clock here. So it's pretty much cut out. There'll be a lot of prep work. Like I said, this stuff is very porous and grainy. It's tough to work with sometimes, but we're going to do it. These are where the hour marks are going to be. These are the little pieces that are going to go in there. So poplar is what I'm using here. I couldn't really find any maple that I wanted to use. It was too dark. She wanted a lighter colored wood in there, and this is pretty light colored wood. And this is pretty much sanded up and ready to start grain filling and sealing. Now I use Solarez. It's a sanding sealer, and I would never use anything else after using this a few times. It's amazingly quick. Partly because I have no patience. I have a friend who I play golf with who is a lawyer, and as long as Tom stays alive, I will not be the most impatient person in Southern California. But anyway, this stuff, you spread it on there. It's resin. It's polyester resin formulated for sanding. You just spread it. You can take your time. It's not like epoxy where you're rushing to beat the chemical reaction. And I'm trying to keep it out of the detail, but I have a feeling that that's just not going to work. And eventually I ended up having to run the program again that cuts out all the detail to clear out all the resin that had gone down into the wood. I didn't want it in there. So anyway, you just spread this stuff around, and as evenly as you can. Like I said, walnut soaks up anything you put on it like crazy. But this stuff, it doesn't soak up as much because it's thick. It's not like shellac, which I do like working with, except for something like this kind of wood, it would just take maybe 7 or 8 coats. This only takes a few coats at the most. with this. With a lot of other wood, it's just one coat, and it's sealed, and most of the grain is filled. I'm not worried too much about filling all the grain on this. She doesn't really care that much about that. We're not going to have a guitar glass finish on this. It's going to be more of a semi-gloss or maybe even a satin finish. When you got everything covered, you just take the workpiece, set it out in the sun for 5 minutes, and you're back to sanding. Do it 2 or 3 times, and it's completely sealed. So I'm starting to lay on the semi-gloss lacquer now. You can see I have the little hour markers in place, and I'm getting ready to add another coat. I'll build this, probably the last coat, and then I'll give it 24 hours, and I'll do a real light sanding, and then a final coat. That's all it's going to really take. This is Mohawk nitrocellulose lacquer that I'm using here. You can get that in gloss, semi-gloss, and satin, and flat if you want flat. I buy by the gallon too under my bench over there. There might catch a glimpse of but that's when I'm using my sprayer. This is not really a big enough job to get the sprayer out because of all the cleanup that has to take place after you spray. So the zip cans work fine, just a little more expensive. The stuff that comes in the zip cans is really good too. It goes on real nice. I did one more coat after a light sanding, and then I mounted up the motor, put the hands on, and I'm on my way out to deliver this thing. So I get out there and I realize I never did a final video on it. So I just had to set it in the seat of my truck and use my phone, which seemed to work out okay. And now you can see what it looks like anyway. Thanks for watching.